Day 4 consecutive sunny days in Michigan. And check out this little spot. I was just hiking along. I don't know if you can see it very well behind me, but there's the river, what's not frozen of it. And it's so peaceful. But yeah, I've had a great hike this morning. And 32 degrees, I just have a fleece on. The sun's out. No, like the air is extremely still. It's very peaceful. Well, with the exception of, as you can hear, the snow crunching underneath my hiking shoes. But yeah, it is just a beautiful Sunday. And I know the last few days I've been talking about these foundational beliefs that I've been questioning and challenging. And as I think about them, I really, they seem to be overall like negative anchors or negative things that I was dealing with, because I was talking about the pain because I had a certain view that it was inflicting on me internally or whatever. But I don't necessarily think that they're negative. I just think that identifying how it was impacting me and repositioning it in my mind so I could have a more pleasant experience was a lot better. But then I started to think, and really, like those, whether it's get an education, get a good job, or I'll be happy when I'm successful, or whatever those foundational beliefs were that I was talking about, they're really all messages that we pick up from the communities that we're in, because it's really part of the overall narrative and messaging. You know, you see the messaging in the ads and the advertisements based on where we are culturally in our country and all that stuff. So it's really prevalent and really easy to buy into those messages and kind of let them impact you. But I would say I wanted today to talk about the most influential foundational belief that was instilled into me, and it was absolutely the greatest gift that my parents could have ever given me or any of my future generations, because I believe that this message is something that was deeply intertwined within our DNA, because I can see it continuing to go on. And truly, what that message is, or what that foundational belief that I have is, my parents always told me, you can do whatever it is you want to do, or be whoever it is you want to be, even if you want to be the president of the United States. And I remember hearing that. Maybe it was only a few times, but when I heard it, I believed it. And I can even remember times as I was growing up when I would say to my mom, I can be whoever I want to be, even the president, right? Or to my dad. And then them saying yes. But I think that is one of the, it's so deeply woven into who I am. And the challenge is, actually, I think that's what seeded my competitiveness. It's what seeded a lot of stuff. But it is so woven within me that I think I tend to focus on the things that I set out to accomplish and then kind of fizzle out, or that I have in the past. And I view those as like almost hurting, like they almost hurt me because I didn't accomplish it. Like just because I set out to accomplish it doesn't even necessarily mean it was something I had to do. But I have that drive to complete whatever it is that I want to do, or accomplish whatever it is, that's so deep and so strong that then I look at the other stuff as negative. But it is like the most positive. And I think about the thing that gets me the most excited and believe that it's generational is as I look at all of the kids, like Matt. When Matt went to a different school system as he was starting elementary school, great time to shift, but he went from private school into a Rockford system. And the kids that he met right away played instruments, and one was a singer, and they were talking about how they were going to start a band, but they needed a drummer. And Matt's like, well, I can play the drums. And they said, okay. Well, Matt didn't know how to play the drums. He didn't have drums. But somehow he went and literally taught himself how to play the drums, figured out a way to convince us to get him some drums, and then went on to playing literally shows when they were in middle school at bars where they weren't even old enough to get in. And then they ended up doing a tour their senior year on Christmas break all the way out to New York and played shows along the way. But it was just, it was cool because he knew he could do it. So he just went ahead and did it. Or Caitlin. I mean, Caitlin had never been in any organized team sports really to speak of until she was a junior in high school. And Caitlin was less than 100 pounds, little tiny girl. And so, of course, the sport that she decides to join is rugby, the most brutal sport. And it was just terrifying to watch those games. I loved it, loved the competition, but man, I watched Caitlin get a concussion. I watched her. I didn't think she was going to get up. She got hit so hard one of the times. But she continued to go, even though she was a rag doll. But she also would hit just as hard as she got hit at times, which was amazing. And she ended up going on and became the captain. So never even was exposed to the sport. Joins it in junior year. Ends up being captain her senior year. But it was just super cool to see that. Or Taylor hadn't played football. He played a little bit when in like 5th or 6th grade early on, or maybe even before that. And then he decided his senior year that he was going to go out for the football team at Rockford High School. Rockford High School is like one of the state programs, huge tradition. They literally start working with those kids when they're in 3rd or 4th grade, and Taylor's going to go out. Well, he went out, and he had such a positive attitude and worked so hard to be able to keep the other kids going and inspire them to move forward and whatever. And he even got like one of the Player of the Week awards for a support team, and it was amazing. But you know, he never questioned whether he could do it. He just went and did it. And then Alexa goes right after she graduates, says she needs to go on a trip, gets in a car, drives all the way out to Oregon all by herself, terrifies us. And but she made it, and she did it. And then a couple months later, telling us how she's moving down to work on a horse farm in North Carolina. And she's been down there for a couple of years, and she's got this great life. But again, the kids, I can tell, because not only did my parents weave that you can accomplish and you can do and be whoever you want to be into my DNA, but Amanda's the same way. Amanda is just, there is nothing that she can't accomplish. And you can tell that she believes she can do it. She can figure it out. Even if she doesn't know, she's like, oh, well, there's ways to learn it. And she does it. And she got that from her parents as well. So that combination of that generational focus and foundational belief of you can accomplish and be whoever you want to be, we want to continue to perpetuate through. But that is something, I swear, for your grandkids or your kids, and I recognize as I look back now that I have a little bit of clarity, times where, you know, maybe I've been in a bad mood and not really supported that way of whatever, where I snapped at the kids or cut them short when they're proudly showing me something or whatever. But I can't go back and change any of that. But I can certainly approach each interaction far more thoughtfully going forward so that I don't have to unintentionally cause any harm. But thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. The greatest gift you could have ever shared with all of your lineage going forward, and you did it so well. I love you.